Hello everybody. Hey, it's Ken Faulkner. And I'm here with another video. And clearly I got another knife to show you. Couple firsts today. My collection and just my knife journey, if you want to call it that. It's kind of a journey, right? I mean, especially if you're a collector, if you're like me, where you're constantly trying to figure out, hey, what do I want to do with this knife buying that I'm doing? Do I just want to be random and just buy everything, or do I want to have like some direction? Do I want to have be discerning about what I'm buying? So yeah, lately I've been doing something a little bit discerning, I guess, and I've been thinking about companies like Giant Mouse that I've seen so many times on videos, other people showing them, and I've always liked them. I thought they were cool, but they were always kind of, for me, a little smaller than I usually would like to get. And that's been the case. I had my video on the Finch, the hell fire, hell something. Anyway, you know my memory. If you've been around, you know my memory. So bad. There's another company that's got smaller knives, but boy, they really got nice knives. So I don't want to always. I think larger knives are going to be more often what I buy, but I don't want it to always keep me from experiencing some of these other knife companies. Another thing, I do have one other, but this is a Italian-made knife, so that's something not common in my collection. I have one other. I'm going to show you that in a minute, just as a comparison sort of thing. But yeah, Ace, Giant Mouse, Ace knife. I don't know how that all plays in. Giant Mouse knives, Ace. I don't know if that's like a series of their knives or what it is. But I did get one of the Ace knives, and it's a name that I'm very familiar with. You probably are too. It's the Biblio, Ace Biblio. And not only did I get the Ace Biblio, but there's a cool little mouse. I always like that logo. I got the Biblio XL in L Max. So that's the one I got. It's a pretty simple little cardboard box. Nothing too fancy about it. We got the little pouch, got the card. So you got your website. And you got some congratulations and yada yada. All that other stuff. And basic box, but I don't tend to keep some of the higher end knives. I wouldn't quite call this the higher end, although it's not super cheap. Another reason. So there it is. Another reason for not buying it. When I get up into the larger price range, over $200, it really makes me look at what I want in a knife. This has got a lot of what I want in a knife. If you know me, and you know this, it's all personal when you're collecting knives. So many different ways people collect. If you watch other people or my channel, or you hear people in the chats talking about what they collect and how they collect and what they have, and everybody's got different ways of doing things, and I think that's awesome. I'm just I obviously like what I like. I'm open-minded. I try to experience new things like this, and yeah, this is pretty cool. This one is a little bit longer than 3 inches. It's like a 3.25 inch blade. And we'll get that blade out. There you go. I love this kind of shape. Talk about that a little bit too. So what we got, the blade length is really about 3 1/4. We're talking about 3 inches on the cutting edge, which I think that's okay. But I do like something a little bit larger than 3 most often. But when I get something that is 3 inch or less, what I really like to see, and you've heard me say it before, if you've been around, finger choil up here, full usable finger choil, and this definitely does have that. So that's something that I like and that I got on this knife. I also like a wire clip. And I know that's not everybody. I know some people are not as big on that. I also like micarta, especially this kind of micarta that has some grippiness to it. You can feel it all the way around the edges because the liners on this are inset, so they took the micarta and cut a little spot out for the liners so that when you're looking down into the knife, you don't really see the profile of the liners, but they're there. So I like all that kind of stuff. It makes it a thinner knife when you do that inset liner. I could really go for a little bit thicker, but as far as carrying in the pocket, it's always a plus. That thinner, getting around, if you got anything else in that pocket, getting around that knife, that thinner kind of thickness to the handle, which is it's a half inch. It's not super thin. It's about a half inch. That's probably about standard. But then there's a lot of knives that I have that go over that, and I kind of, especially with a fixed blade, you really want to have that good grip. But seeing as you're putting this in the pocket, having that little bit of thinness to it is actually a good thing. That wire clip is reversible. We do have a lanyard hole, and we do have a pretty cool backspacer. I've always been a fan of copper and brass. I got a few knives in my collection that either have brass handles or different pieces that are brass and even bronze. It's just very cool to me. I don't know. I like the look. That little jimping on there. I don't know. Maybe you get a little bit out of that. You got a little jimping on here. Now, a lot of the knives nowadays are coming with the jimping all the way down, and I think that's my preference. But having it up here is actually pretty good, especially with the choke-up position. You get your thumb lands right on there, and it's good grippy jimping. I like the crown spine, very nice. I think there's some extra. I don't have enough Italian knives to really say for sure, but I think there's a little bit of extra thought put into the artistry of the knife. One thing I noticed about this, great action by the way, is the way the knife comes down into the handle. It's like almost flush right there, but because you got that backspacer that kind of comes up and around the corner, like, I'll get it to focus in. Those close-up shots are always a challenge. It kind of covers you from catching that tip, but man, it's a nice smooth transition right there. And that transition also, if you're back here, you still can get your pinky on there. It's kind of falling off, but it kind of catches on that little curved area that also serves as just being a nice look at the close position. Really nice. I think they did a great job on that. Getting one of these in hand, I could see why so many people like them. So many people show them on videos. I don't know how many more I'll buy with this company, but we'll see. Another cool first that I want to, and I probably should have mentioned it earlier in the video, hopefully not everybody has already turned it off, is that I bought this knife from a company that I have told you all you should go buy from this company. It is from DNK Knives. If you've seen my earlier videos of knives that he's Don Farmer over at DNK Knives has sent to me, I've always said, yeah, we should support this guy because he supports people in the community. And it's not just me, obviously. And I actually used the discount from Behind the Edge. Go check out that channel, Behind the Edge. They have a discount for DNK Knives, 10%. It's behind the Edge 10, all together in one word. Go to Nick's channel and see exactly how it is. I don't know if it's all caps or all lowercase or what. I think it's all put together though, no spaces in there. But definitely check it out. And Don's got some excellent stickers. Look at that guy. my first knife fight. I've seen this picture before. I can't remember. I think maybe it was on Scab's channel. I love that. I love it. That's just classic because I grew up when we were all wearing clothes like this. You know, that is definitely, and the hairdo. So all the old pictures of me as a kid, I think this is me right here. The hairdo and the knife and getting into a knife fight. Hobbies and games, DNK Knives. Anyway, classic sticker. Don Farmer's a great guy, and it's a great experience. He got this thing out in the mail quick, and yeah, he was all over it. And so yeah, excellent experience. Recommended it, and will be going back for more from DNK Knives. All right, so some comparisons. Let's get into it. I was putting in my spreadsheet that I got this knife from Italy and checking what else do I have from Italy. This is the only one. This is the Macarin Reactor. Not that well known of a company. I bought this one. I live in California, Southern California. Not a lot of knife shops here anymore. When I was a kid, we used to have them, but you know, things have really changed in California. I've grown up here. I'm not young, so I've been through here for many years. My kids all grew up here. I grew up here, and over the years, it's just gotten less free as far as I'm concerned. The freedoms are going away, and then there's the whole thing with the online sales, so that's going to be part of it too. But I like going into a store and checking it out. DNK actually does have a store, and I got to check it out sometime. I'm not sure. I got to find out where that is. I got family over in Tucson area. That's where I got this knife, was in Tucson, and it was a shop called Blade Runner. And when I went in there, I didn't know what I was going to buy. I was just going to shop around and check out the knives. And the guy behind the counter actually had one of these knives in his pocket. And he said, yeah, I recommend this thing. He whipped that thing out. Boom. Talking about a big knife. So looking at that size comparison. Now, obviously, you got some titanium here. And then there's this G10 on this other side. And it's interesting, this little, because it is a reversible pocket clip. It's got this little thing here to fill the space, the filler tab. Anyway, big knife. So that obviously attracted my attention. We're talking almost to the 4 1/4, 4 1/8, I'd say, 4 1/8 inch blade. Nice. And Macarin, I never really heard of them before. They got this cool symbol on the knife. I don't know that much about it, even to this day. This one's very thin handled, but it's tall. It gives you a good grip. It's got a crazy flipper that sticks way out, but it's kind of cool because it gives you a little guard there. So you know, when you get into your first knife fight, you're ready to catch that blade. That doesn't really happen, but anyway, it will help you if you're like sticking your tip of your knife into something. You keep you from sliding up on the blade, and that's really what it is. So I kind of like that, and it doesn't really bother me. I mean, even like the thicker handled knives, like I say, I'm willing to sacrifice room in the pocket for some functionality that I like. And so yeah, I was just watching Metal Complex. He was talking about his 20 favorite knives. Didn't quite get through it. Long video. I'm going to get back to it though. But he was saying he doesn't like these flippers and they get in the way. And I know a lot of people. I think Nick Shabazz talks about them. A lot of people don't like them. I kind of like it because in this case, it's kind of a place to keep my finger from sliding up. So it's kind of going to protect me a little bit in certain cases. So anyway, that's the Reactor. And what else we got? No other Italian knives, but this blade shape is one that I've always kind of liked. This tallness, this flatness, flat grind. I got to get something to cut because this thing cuts so well. Break out the old. I got a loose piece that I've been using. It's already sliced up. If you're a knife guy, you probably have paper like this lying around. Anyway, this thing, it amazing. I mean, just factory edge. Elmex steel on this one. I haven't sharpened it yet. Obviously, it really doesn't need it. I mean, some people are going to sharpen something when they get it anyway, just because they like it to have their own personal edge. But man, this thing just cuts like nothing, and does those little curls. And I remember when I first did a cut at work, I kind of missed the edge, and it did like a little curly cue. Probably can't do it on purpose. Anyhow, very sharp, but it's I would say that a lot of that has to do with the geometry of the knife. We're probably less than an eighth on the thickness. I get out the calipers, but you know, I'm not worried about precision. I just know how it feels. But when you start from here and you get that flat grind all the way down a tall edge, it gets very thin down here, and this thing just slices so well, so well. Very comfortable in the hand. God, there's so many things I like about this knife. Even for, I really couldn't call it a small knife. This is more like my go-to. My 3 1/4 to 4 inch is like the average sizes for the knives that I buy. But yeah, so this is comfortable, easy to flick out. The hole works out really well. Another thing about this hole is that my thumb works really well, even under the camera. Wow. A lot of times I'll have trouble flicking a hole in a blade with my thumb, but this one I can do. I think for the flipper tab, which is small on this one, it's not really tuned as well for that as it is for the hole flick. But that's the main way I'm going to use that knife anyway, is to flick it with the hole. So blade shapes like that. We got the growler from Devo. Look at that guy. That's about the same size too. I was a little hesitant on buying the growler because of the size, but the price was super good. And I think, what did I get this at? The growler was like 70 bucks. 70 bucks. This is a great price. This guy is, like I said, over 200, 225. Not this guy. This guy, 225. But you are getting the Elmax steel here, whereas this is 14C28 in on the growler. But it's got that great micarta, so similar. Although this is flat and this is got that contour, and that's so cool. So like another knife that has that contour excellent, I always think about this one. And you can see how this guy kind of looked more like this when I first got it, but I've had it for a long time. The Feldspar from CJRB. And this also has that contoured feel. Great, great knife. And you can tell the love and the use of the knife by how dark that micarta gets over time. So another great knife with micarta. Blade shape wise, I got the Max Ace Meerkat, and this got S90V. This is a nice knife, and it's titanium as well, and it was customized by none other than Stella from Stella's Knife Sessions. Check her out if you haven't checked her out, for sure. But anyway, it's got that same tall, not quite full flat, but, and this has got a little bit of, it's the flat grind. The bevel here starts a little bit down from the edge of the top of the blade, but this one a little bit more. But it's a similar kind of blade shape with the hole. This one here, I can get with the thumb as well. So as long as you get a little bit of depth this way, it kind of works better for me that way. And then we got the Penguin, and another one that's gotten a lot of darkness on its micarta. Although this micarta, and I don't know if you could tell by looking at it, this one is definitely more, it does have grip, but it's definitely more slippery than this. This has that really good, like Kaiser's micarta. It's got that really good grip to it. So anyway, size comparison, if you're kind of getting an idea for how big it is. We got the penguin. That's always one that is popular. So there you go. The penguin's a little bit smaller, but man, what a good price on that knife. You're getting a deal. All right, so that's it, guys. First Ace giant mouse knife in my collection. Super satisfied. I'm kind of aiming that way. I got a list of brands that I've always thought about but never have bought. And this is the one this week. Actually, this one is also a brand that I never had before, and I already did the video, but I was so excited about having this knife in my collection that because of the grailness of it, that I really put it in that category. But it definitely is one of the brands that I've checked off that list, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep seeking out these knives. I'm going to keep checking out Don Farmer's DNK Knives website, and I'll keep making the videos, guys. So you all have a good one, and I will see you on the next one.